All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Adnolua. Good evening, Deborah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Balkis. Good evening, Shegun. Good evening, Scholar Lumilo. Good evening, Scholar Oyewole. You're welcome. Okay. Let's get into the business of the day so that who is this goody scholar? Who joined with goody scholar as your name? Why are you showing us Rebecca's face? So that we will know that she is there, right? We can see right inside the HOD's office. I hope you found what you were looking for.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I want to know that person by the name Goody Scholar. Who is that?
It's goodness, sir.
Goodness. You want to name Maria Scholar. That's nice. All right. To make this call easier, I would promote Bilo Meshak as a co-host so that he can admit others. How is it happening now? Where is Meshak again? Okay. Let's proceed. So you're welcome once again, everyone. This is going to be our second virtual session together, and it is our week 3 in the research progress. For the sake of those who are just joining, people like Ms. Oluwasho joining us from Ondo City, and for everyone who have been around, this research gist is a time for us to interact, get to know what research is all about, and to be practical. Now, for the class 28, okay, class 28 students, those are those in 300 level now. It is a foreshadowing of what you can expect. Then for the class 27, you are at the center of gravity now. And for those class 26, those ones are halfway through what research is for an undergraduate. But for today, I've already told us the title. So let me see if any of you had it in mind. What is the title of our meeting today? Yes, what is the title of what we are considering today? Adnolua. I cannot hear from you, Adon. Are you there with us? Unmute yourself and speak. Very good. It means so many people are not reading messages on the platform. That is what it implies. Anybody just raise your hand. You can use any of the electronically, you can raise your hand. Okay, Shegun Oluwaleye, go ahead. Shegun is not speaking. Okay, Ismail is Sulaiman. Go on.
Settling research topic.
All right, settling research topic. Thank you. Our focus is first to know what is research topic all about. Now, there have been histories of students who say, hey, you started your project, congratulations. Oh, what have you been able to achieve now? And sometimes it's lamentation. Hey, my supervisor has not given me a topic. And that comment, my supervisor has not given me a topic, is common to many people. Why is it that oftentimes people spend months, some even spend up to a quarter of a year, up to 3 months waiting to be given topic? It is because they are they have ignorance of what it takes to properly coin a research topic. That I believe nobody here should be a victim of. So to press on, I began by asking every one of you in class 27 to go back and study the chapter 2 of the Manner of Style, which spelled out the way to craft a research topic. Now, this meeting we are doing today, I need you all to prepare because on Thursday it will be your turn. On Thursday, it will be your turn to do your own presentation. So what I'm going to be doing today is to walk you through again what a research topic is about. You have learned this in class 26, class 27. But for those of you who have not learned, I'm just going to be making a walkthrough. What is a research topic about? What should be contained in a research topic and what should not? And after that, I will be wanting to hear from class 27 students who are already in their clusters. I told you already to work in your cluster what your topic would be. I would be asking each of the 10 clusters to let me know what they've done so far. So let's get started. I would be sharing my screen to just walk you through the process of crafting research topic. So let me start. Confirm to me. Can you all see my screen? All right.
I can see from my end, sir.
Beautiful. So I'm just sharing with you this page. Yes, can you all see the title of what is here now? If you can see it, read out for me. What is the title of what you can see?
Choosing a good research topic.
Beautiful. Choosing a good research topic. Research topic is as important as the name you bear. Sorry, there are some non-Yorubas on the call. In Yoruba land, we say that the name of a person usually has implication on that person's life. So if your research is to be properly done, the topic determines a lot. For example, the research topic tells us the summary of everything you are doing. In your research topic, we can easily deduce the central objective, the main objective. In fact, the main objective is the research topic. Also, your research topic should give us a glimpse into what is the problem you want to solve. Now, for all of you that are in class 27, you already told me what your problem is. 30 of you, 4 persons are still yet to do that. So if you have them as friends, please help them. I've also met with some of them physically, and some of them are already on the call, but they've not responded. So guide them on how to send a response to the group, what their research problem is. That research problem, when it comes to the section we usually call statement of the problem, that is the section where you tell us what you have observed in the, what we call the dependent variable, what is wrong in the dependent variable, and what you assume to be the cause of it from the independent variable, and how you want to study the two to provide a solution. It is in the research topic that we know what your dependent variable is, what your independent variable is. Also, when it comes to drafting your methodology, when I say a research topic, I can tell you with about 85% accuracy the methodology adopted for the study. For example, if I hear a research topic say effect of whatever, that it is a studies on effect, already make me know that it is an experimental study. If you are hearing something like influence of, very likely the person is conducting a quasar experiment or a simple survey. If somebody is doing something like meta-analysis of, then I know the person is doing a systematic study, a systematic review. These are some of the importance of research topic. And into Manje, the reason why many people have problem getting it is that they are having difficulty capturing every of their thoughts about their research problem and putting it into a simple sentence. And you know, a research topic must be concise. Those are some of the things that we are going to still look at. How long should a research topic be? In fact, let me ask that as a prior knowledge. How long should a research topic be? Anybody to tell us that? I promise the person +2 mark from class 27, +2 marks in your CHS 501. Raise your hand and let me see.
It should not be more than 18 or 21.
Okay, it should not be more than 18 or 21. Okay, I guess that is much of assuming, but it's okay. Now, from the manner of style and what you've been taught, you can beat yourself. Lawal, I can hear the HOD's voice in the background. Now, the benchmark, there is no fast rule about it. It's not as if it is written in stone that this is how long it must be. It is just a regular thought that for the sake of conciseness, for manageability, the research topic should not be longer than 20 words. Some places it can be fewer, some places slightly more, but the usual golden rule is make sure it is no longer than 20 words. So those 20 words should contain at least 3 things. Please listen to this very well. These 3 things must be captured. Take note, I said these 3 things must be captured. 1, the independent variable that you are investigating. 2, the dependent variable. 3, the context of your study. So let's take them one after the other. First is let me start with the dependence variable, because the dependence variable is that variable of major concern. The dependence variable is the variable that is troubling your heart. Okay, let me share a screen with you. I'm just going to be opening some of the studies, perhaps some that I have worked on before. Let me just show you a few of them. Yes, here. Publications. Yeah. Now let me start. This is the first journal I would ever publish in life. And I'm going to be showing you from there. I hope I'm going to get it right from here. Okay, this one is an experimental. You see what I'm talking about? Can you see what is on the screen? Effects of different processing methods on the nutritional values of moringa leaves. Now, this topic up front, because it is experimental, it is purely scientific. The reason why this topic comes this way, already when I told you that if you see that a study says effect of, what kind of methodology did I tell you that that is? You can type it in the in-call messages. I'm going to take track of those responses when we are done. Effects of make you know it is experimental, just like you can see on the screen. Then it is talking about different processing methods. It's also talking about nutritional values of moringa leaves. Now, those are 2 variables. Which one do you think is my worry? Which one is the cocoa to me? Is it the processing methods or the nutritional values? Now, let me ask someone to tell. Which one do you think a researcher is more concerned about? Is it the processing methods or the nutritional values? Yes, you can raise your hand or type it. Okay. All right. Please, everyone, give me some moment. I have to converse with my HOD.
We can't hear you, sir.
All right, friends, are you back on the call? Sorry for the break in transmission. Okay. Let me just proceed with the presentation. I should also tell you that I didn't take it for granted. The conversation I had to have with HOD was very crucial. All right, now from the point, Oluwaseyi, you should send back to the group that we are no longer on hold. So that's okay, good. Now, what I was explaining the other time are the elements in a research topic. So if you see a research topic, I expect you to be able to spot what is the dependent variable, what is the independent variable. Now, from the responses I saw, I asked, between processing methods and nutritional values, which of these two is the concern of the researcher? I saw a response about processing methods. I heard someone say nutritional values, and that's correct. The nutritional values of moringa leaf is what the person is concerned about. Okay, moringa leaf is widely used, but the content of the nutrient contained in it, what happens after it has been processed through several means? That time we were thinking of processing it through drying, then handling it in the laboratory instead of doing drying outside. What impact does these two, what effects rather does these two have on the nutritional value? That is what makes nutritional value our concern. So in that case, nutritional value, which is my concern, is the dependent variable. It is depending on some factors, and the factors I'm considering now is the processing methods. Please pay attention to the fact that there can be several reasons, several independent variables, but in a study, you should be able to pinpoint yours. Usually one, maximum of 3. Sometimes it can be 1, 2, at most 3, because research must be manageable. I guess some people are trying to join the call, but can't. Let me admit them. Okay. So for this topic again, processing methods happens to be the independent variable, and nutritional values happen to be the dependent variable. Now, because it's an experimental study and it is not a matter of a population, that is why it does not contain the third thing, which is the context. So the context is talking about the location, the population, the place where the study is conducted. So we have in this topic now the independent variable to be processing methods and the dependent variable to be nutritional values. Take note of that. Let me give you another instance. Let me open one other recent article. Now, this is a publication that was made last year. Can you see it clearly? If yes, unmute yourself and respond. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. It is assessment. Someone should mute. Assessment of ultra-processed food consumption and overall dietary pattern of undergraduate students in Ondo City, Ondo State. Now, this study happens to be a survey. In fact, anything is something like assessment. Assessment actually makes it clear that you just want to do a surface study, just want to go over it at the surface level. That is why it's a survey. So assessment UPF is ultra-processed foods and overall dietary pattern of undergraduate students in Ondo City, Ondo State. Now, from this, I need somebody to clearly identify what is the dependent variable, what is the independent variable, and what is the context of this study. I don't want to remove the screen from your site, so I'm going to join the call. Okay. Just give me a few minutes so I can whatever your responses from another hand. Okay. All right. Hand now. If you want to, so you can raise your hand. If you raise your hand, I'll be able to see you here. I believe the screen is visible, very clear, because I can see it on my other device here. So if you are telling us what the dependent, okay, yes, I promised 2 marks the other time. So somebody tell us these 3 things, and that will be 3 marks already for you, waiting for CHS 501. For some people, before we finish all this gist, you'll have even gotten 30 marks waiting for you. Yes, anybody like that? Or if you want to type, you can use the in-call messages to type out what you feel is the dependent variable and what you feel is the independent variable and what you feel is the context. I'll wait for 10 more seconds and I will call names. Okay. Yes, some people are typing. I hear we are typing. Okay, yes, you can also use the WhatsApp group for typing if that is more convenient for you. Yes, so I'm waiting for everyone to do that. In fact, everybody go and type out what is the dependent. Just write dependent variable is DV. DV equals to this. Independent variable is IV. IV equals to this. Then context C equals this. Oh yeah, everyone do that now. Let me pick them. To those that are typing, you can be faster with it. Okay. Scholar Kinde says the dependence, the DV is dietary pattern, is ultra processed food. What of the context? I'm waiting for others' responses too. I see Adolua is typing on WhatsApp. Be faster with it. And for others who are typing too. Nilo, I'm not seeing anything from you. Okay. Scholar Shino. Factors that can be controlled. TV factors you observe. Context, background of the study. Tell us in clear terms from the topic that I've just displayed on the screen. What is the dependent variable? What is the independent variable? What is the context? Okay. Okay, Scholar Kenny says the context is among undergraduates. Okay, that's a nice attempt. I want to take at least 2 more. I can see so many people typing on WhatsApp. So drop whatever you are typing now. Let's see. DV equals to what? IV equals to what? And C equals what? We cannot spend all the time here. Oh. Okay. Since I have one response, I will just go ahead because we have a little more things to cover. And I want us to stay true to the timing. Now, for okay, I don't know why I still typing. No, you type fast too. I need a fresh sheet of paper. Scholar Motorola is typing too. Yeah, oh, I'm waiting. I will just wait until it is 7:42. Once it's 7:42, I will move ahead. Okay, Scholar says the independent variable is UPF consumption. The DV is overall dietary pattern, and the context is on those states. Not a bad attempt. Okay, Scholar Nemilo says DV is the dietary pattern, IV is ultra processed food, and context is Ondo City. Not bad. Scholar Motun says IV is factors you change control. What is happening? Why are people speaking in tongue? I hope this is because it's the same thing I'm saying from the two scholars. Ah, now I can see. Because Scholar Goodness response too is also appearing like Scholar Motun's response, like Scholar Shina's response. I don't know whether you have a special scholar group. Now, let me proceed with what we have already. Okay, Scholar Meshach, IV is ultra-processed food consumption, DV is overall dietary pattern, context is undergraduate students. Okay. Scholar Feromi, DV is overall diet, IV is ultra-processed food consumption. Beautiful. I think you guys thought in a very good direction. Now, the dependent variable is the overall dietary pattern. So if your is overall dietary pattern, and I think I've seen that from a number of persons, that is correct. Then the I is food consumption, IV is food consumption, and the context is under city on those states. That is the context. Now, when we're talking about scope of the study, I will tell you that that context has 2 segments. We have geographical context and we also have population context. In this study, the geographical context is Ondo City. The population context is undergraduate students. So the 2 of them come together to form the context. Undergraduate students in Ondo City, Ondo State is the context of this study. Now, you've done well. I will show you one more. I hope to get one that will be very technical to try out everyone's intelligence. Yeah, I think I find one here. This one is going to turn some people's mind, but hold on. Before I come to this level, I think I should be a little more modest. Okay. Now, can you see what is on the screen? Okay. If you can see what is on the screen, that is what the title page of a journal would look like. Now, the journal title is, the article is titled Validation of a Student Health Questionnaire Linked to the Consumption of Processed Food. If I put this one second, in the context of evolving African food. I can't use this anymore. The answer is very clear. But I hope you get what I'm trying to pick out here. There are three variables in this topic. You already see the context that it is talking about food culture in Africa. So in the context of that, we are looking at how is this questionnaire valid when it is used for measuring the consumption of processed foods. But let me take another one. Okay, let me just go to that other one I was talking about the other time. I think let's assess it. Now, this one I'm going to be showing you is not as straightforward as the other one. So users, readers, discretion advised. So check it out. Somebody should read out the title of the article I'm just displaying. Yes, someone on mute and read it out.
Systematic review of philosophical engagement among home economics professionals in Nigeria.
Beautiful. Thank you. So, yeah, how many variables do we have there? So let's take that again. Type out the IV, the DV, and the context. Okay. I think responses have started coming. Okay. Yes, I'm checking both on WhatsApp and on the in-call messages. I think some people are already hanging in the waiting room. Let me bring them in. Okay. Yes. Let's have it. What I did not ask you to include is the methodology. Now, what is the methodology for the conduct of this research? From the title, I told you can also discover the methodology. And I think you can identify it here. So let's make it 4 now. 4. Yes, I think I should keep track of those who that will get 3 marks for the first one. This one, it is the first person that sends the correct answer that will get the 3 marks, 3 marks, 3 marks. Let's make it 2. So I'm going to check back your responses. So keep them coming. Okay. Just systematic review of philosophical. That is the independent variable. Home economics professional is the dependent variable and the context is Nigeria. Nice attempt. Okay. Shino says IV is the philosophical engagement, professional practices and outcome. That is the DV. Context is home economics professionals in Nigeria. Beautiful. Meshach says independent variable is home economics professionals. The DV is level of philosophical engagement, and the context is Nigerian home economics education and professional system. Well, because my time is up now, the remaining 10 minutes, I want to use it for something else. So let me just wrap this together. Now, this topic is dicey, though nobody got it completely because I asked you to also include the methodology. Those of you in class 27, you already know different methodologies. Okay, some responses from in-call messages. Scholar Nemi says, systematic review is the IV. TV is philosophical engagement. Context is economics professional. Nice attempt. Scholar Kehinde says IV is systematic review of philosophical. TV is engagement among home economics. Context is professional in Nigeria. That is a good way to split the topic. Okay. All right. Now, this topic is dicey. The reason is that it is a systematic review. That is the methodology. You know that was explained. I know when it was explained in class, for some of it may be like, this one is not like what we have done before. Now, systematic review is you sit at a table and you take, like you are zooming out to look at a broad landscape of a matter. For example, when I was looking at philosophical engagement of home economics, I was searching what has been published by home economics across the world from 2008 till around 2024. And I was taking every single person's publication into account to see how do we discuss philosophy. That is a systematic review. I did not share questionnaire. I did not enter the lab to collect any data, but this systematic review is much valued. In fact, sometimes it's what is stronger than the research that is independently conducted, because I am joining together. I don't want to use an English that will be too big, but I think it will not be too big if I say I'm amalgamating a lot of information existing elsewhere, what several people have done, and bringing them together into one thing. This article, in fact, I didn't have a struggle to get it published. Once it was submitted, the worth of it was immediately discovered by the editor. But the editor sent back a result and said, wow, this is lovely. Because I reviewed their publications from 2008 till date. I said, wow, nobody has thought of doing that. That is a systematic review. But because of that nature, the variables in this study is just one. It's just one variable like this. And the variable is philosophical engagement. While the context is home economics professionals in Nigeria. I already told you that the context has two elements, the population and the what? The geographical context. So the geographical context is Nigeria. The population context is home economics professionals. Population means those people you are concerned with. And the variable we're looking at is just philosophical engagement, period. How do they engage philosophy? So this variable is a standalone variable. And that is why I told you already that it's very dicey. But it's just nice for us to play around what research topics look like. So I will be going back to excuse me. So I want to check again with you the manner of style. Okay, what I will do is to make the soft copy of this manner of style available for you. For those of you that you have not learned this before, I'm just showing you on the screen what are the sources of research problem, which is essentially the research topic. It can be from information in literature, from your own observation, from your personal experience, from what some policies already said, or what your supervisor has as an agenda. That matters because you cannot be intending to do a study outside your supervisor scope. In fact, for advanced study, if you have had people who are processing master study outside the country, the first thing is to code, email supervisors and get a supervisor that has a research interest like yours. If you don't find that, no matter how brilliant you are, if you graduated with 5.0, still not your admission depends on you aligning with what your supervisor intends. Now, the implication of that, I'll be saying it later on. But structuring a research topic, you should indicate the independence variable. That is the factor or the cause. Then the independence variable is the outcome, the effect, what you are really concerned with. Then the context is talking about the population, the location, or the geography, or even time frame. This time frame comes in under systematic review. Time will not afford me the chance to show you a study that was presented in the conference recently. It was systematic analysis of AI usage by home economists between 2010 and 2025. So the context, it is not the population, it is not a location, it is time frame. You can see something like that. If for those of you that already have access to my Google Scholar account, those who have followed me on ResearchGate, you can go to that place and find the publication I just mentioned now. Now, what are those things to be careful about? When you get the soft copy of this, you can read all of this up. There is a framework. This framework was developed by the research office of the department. And while putting together this framework, we call it the reptile. Sorry, reptile. That is, these 6 things must be in your research topic. So all of you, between now and Thursday, class 27, you are expected to have come up with a research topic. And it should meet up with this criterion. This criteria. 1, it should be relevant. That is, it must be related to consumer and home economics. That is important. 2, it should be essential. That is, it should be addressing a problem. For example, somebody wants to assess a study of cooking methods in the 1960s. Please, for what? We don't need it today. It is not essential. So whatever you are doing should be having an essence. The third thing is that it should be tangible. That is, what you are writing as your research topic should clearly state your dependence variable and your independence variable. That is tangibility. Look at somebody that is saying, I want to look at parenting and education in Nigeria. It is not tangible. Because what you are looking at is not about parenting. Are you studying? Are you studying something related to parenting styles? Or you are looking at maybe the socioeconomic dimension of parenting and so on. But if the person is looking at relationship between parenting style, and instead of saying education, the person says academic achievement. Because if we talk of education, under education we have academics, we have skill acquisition, we have development of attitudes. In education, we have 3H that must be developed: the head, the heart, and the hand. Those 3 things are important in education, but you know, the person now wants to look at the head, academic achievement. That is more specific, that is tangibility. Then under P, we have the premise. Premise is the context. That is where the study should be conducted. Look at somebody that wants to look at influence of social media on study habits. As nice as that is, because you already know that, okay, this person studying this is looking at study habits as the dependent variable, social media as the independent variable, but where? Is it in the whole world? Or is it in heaven and on earth? It is not clear. But if somebody is saying, I'm looking at that among home economists undergraduates in Unilag, now we know what you're studying. That is the premise. A is achievability. Whatever you want to do should be something you can achieve. And this is where some people usually have problems. Imagine somebody that wants to look at effect of nutrition education on all secondary school students in Nigeria. How will you achieve that, for God's sake? Now, secondary schools in Nigeria are talking of both private and public in all 36 states. That is not achievable. You cannot. In fact, Nigerian population, it was in 2023 or 2024, they wanted to do census. Even Nigeria federal government failed. How much less one person? who wanted to conduct a study that cut across all secondary schools. So you should keep that in mind. And the last thing, the L in the reptile, is length. Whatever your topic is should not be longer than 20 words. Look at the topic, this very topic, the one that is on the screen now. An investigation into the multifaceted contribution of nutrition education programs to sustainable development goals in the Nigerian context with special reference to food security and gender equity. That is already a statement. That is not accepted. So you should make sure that your topic is no longer than 20 words. Now, by my time, it's already 8 on the dot. But because of this break in transmission that we had, I would want to now take this time to hear back from you. I've already given you examples of topics. You've seen the framework, those things that you should pay attention to. Those reptiles, they matter because for those of you in class 27, that is where your assessment will start. We used to do, those are in class 26 will tell you, we did online topic presentation. You are given around 3 minutes, talk to your topic. What do you want to do? And under that, we analyze, we scrutinize, we tear apart some, we throw some in the dustbin and give you a new one and so on. But this time around, it won't be because 175 students, that is amazing. We can't pick everyone. But the goal is, we have set it that your supervisor will have vested your topic, we will declare a time, your supervisor would have gone through it, the lecturers will go through again. By that time, it is believed that your topic is in good form, but your supervisor will get back to you, whatever corrections we make. That means that your supervisor will be doing the more of the bulk of the work in assessing your topic. So now, ask questions on whatever you have as confusion, need for clarity, etc. And after I'm done taking all the questions, I'm going to be giving a final word for class 27. So any question, if you have a question, you can raise your hand. You can type it out on WhatsApp or in the in-call messages, whichever. But I prefer you raise your hand so that I can quickly take you so we don't waste time at all. It's like all my scholars know this thing, they don't have question. Interesting. For those of you that have been struggling with one issue or the other with research topic, ask now. Just 30 seconds. So if no one is up, then I will move to the next thing. So it will be your job as from next Thursday to come and start speaking English. All right. Now let me proceed. What are the expectations from you as per cluster-based grouping? Now, in your cluster, I will just take one cluster to be an example. A cluster has 3 persons at the moment. Your cluster has a cluster head. That is the person that is overseeing, so to speak, the person that does much of interfacing. I interact with every one of you. You are not too much that can be personally handled. Yet, each cluster is to work on, I think I should stop sharing my screen. Okay. Each cluster is to work on a unique research focus. That is, what you are working on as your cluster should be unique. Yet, each of you will be taking different aspects of it. So I want to open now to give you an instance from the adjusted clustering. The first cluster is applied nutrition education and school well-being intervention. There are 3 persons there, and the leader of that cluster is Oyewole Praise Obanijesu. Now, I've told you before that when you want to craft your topic, there are some keywords that should not be missing out. They must not miss out. 1, technology. You can use either, not that all of them should be there. Any of the 4 can be there. Technology, extension, education, and well-being. Those are 4 words that capture what my research focus are. If you are doing anything, and there is no topic, whatever you are getting out of any research you're doing in economics, you can always find a place for any of these 4 keywords. Now, if from the first thing you see, even in the name of your cluster, nutrition, education, and school well-being, that has settled a lot of things. You already have education, you have well-being. So now as you begin to think, let me just give you an instance for cluster A now. Cluster A, I expect your work, but let me just say your work is quasi experiment, because you will go and really teach children in a school nutrition for a given period of time. Usually for a quasi experiment, we say for 6 weeks. So you meet them once in a week. Sometimes we call it 6 contact sessions. So you can finish the 6 contact sections in 2 weeks and so on. And after that, you will, before you start educating them, you will measure their well-being level. Now, depending on what you have in mind. Now, let me just use their instance to clarify, because I did the clustering based on what you said are the research problem on your mind. So, for example, Obanijesu told me that a problem is on, I want to enlarge my screen. Our issue is on nutritional well-being among people like primary school pupils, etc. Ojebiyi or Luadarasimi was talking about the issue of dietary adequacy, micronutrients. And Ademola Deborah was talking about childhood malnutrition. I took those 3 things in consideration before putting you together. So the 3 of you, you'll be conducting similar thing, but now I expect that Obanjes will be doing something like, okay, what is the effect? Remember, it is experimental. The effect of this kind of education on nutritional well-being of primary school pupils in so and so. So I'm already giving you a clue of what your research topic should look like. For Ojebi Darasimina, who is working on micronutrients, which means in this nutrition education that you are going to give them, you are going to cover micronutrients to a good point. So you will be looking at something like impact of nutrition education on micronutrient adequacy in so and so. And for Deborah, it will be something like the impact or the effect of nutrition education or nutrition extension program. You don't have to use the same name for that education program. So the influence of nutrition extension program, for example, on childhood malnutrition reduction. And I think Ademola Deborah also stated something around maybe semi-urban, maybe children in semi-urban settlement or something. Now, Ogbomoso is a semi-urban settlement. So in your topic, you can capture that as well. So impact of nutrition education on childhood malnutrition reduction in Ogbomoso, maybe Ogbomoso North local government area of your state. So that is an example of the kind of research topic I'm expecting that each cluster will come up with. So I want everyone to go back to your cluster. By now, you should have a group, your own personal WhatsApp group, where you discuss, okay, this is what our cluster team is about. Okay, this is what I said I wanted to work on. This is a problem I saw. Okay, what can we do together? Like those that are in this behavioral nutrition education may have to be with clinical assessments plus giving people nutritional therapy. Think about, and then your work is on preventive health, not corrective. Because I think one of you, Kedai is Adekoya Kende, is working on drug reduction in drug dependence. I know that if I can pick now, somebody among you is working on portion control, like that. So make sure that whatever you are working on is capturing that adequately. And for everyone like that, from the start to the finish. So on Thursday, when we meet, we are going to start with, in fact, I will start with any cluster as the spirit leads. So make sure that you are ready. So I'll just call your cluster. Once I call your cluster, the 3 of you, your cluster head will say, okay, this is what we are looking at. My own aspect is this. The second person will say, my aspect is this. The third one will say, my aspect is this. So all of us as scholars will now look at your topic and say, does this topic meet with the reptile framework? And what is reptile again? Let me use that as the closing announcement. Reptile, let's give, unmute yourself, everyone. Let's read it out. Reptile, number 1, R, relevant, E, essential. The next one is P, P is practical. The next one is what? Tangible. Tangible, yes. After no. Something is wrong. Sorry, it is reptile. Whether reptile or reptile, whichever. Because putting T before P makes it easier for me to remember. We have relevance. E is essence, essential. P is tangible, tangibility. P is not practical. Premise. That is the context. Then A is achievable, and L is talking about the length. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, on this note, we want to conclude today's conversation. Next meeting we have on Thursday is not my turn to talk. I will give it to the admin. Mine will just be to come and make some expert input while you guys, you do the gist. It's meant to be a research gist. Also, as soon as we drop this meeting, I will send your attendance to you. You will see your attendance. You will see how you are getting your scores. Also, the minute of this meeting, you will get it. Let me say something on that minute. When I sent the invite, I sent a link for you to add the call to your calendar. Go and do it. If you do it, in fact, automatically, as we end this meeting, just go and check your email. Automatically, the summary of this meeting will come and drop on you, including the link to the video of this meeting. Automatically, it will come if you have added it to your calendar. But if not, I'm going to still send the link to you. So when the link for that of Thursday is sent, add it to your calendar. If you add it to your calendar, one other advantage is that you would also receive notification 1 hour before the time, 30 minutes before the time, a day before the time. That makes it helpful for you. All right, everyone, meet yourself, scholars, and say good night wherever you are joining from. All right, good night, scholars.
Good night, scholars.
Night, scholar, good night. Scholars, good night. Admin,
Good night, sir. Good night, sir.
Meet me in your PM now. Scholar Shegun, good night. Scholar Deborah, good night. Scholar Doom.
Yes, sir.
Scholar Piero. Scholar Favor. Scholar Susan, you came late. You will see yourself on the attendance.
Yes, sir. I came late from church, sir.
Okay. Thank God for this program.